Okay. My full names are Makhado Sinthumule Ramabulana. I thought that you will say I should swear. Yesterday when I was at the CRL, before you can do anything, they say you should swear so that you are in a position where you speak the truth. Parents, my father is a pastor, so I grew up from that setting, and also I had an encounter with spiritualism. I started from a point where I experienced those practices where people, they will talk as they are bathing, talking. It is like they speak that whatever their wishes, they speak their wishes out. So it is not prayer, because prayer, it is not speaking your wish out. Prayer is communicating with God. But the moment you start to speak wishes out, it's more of incantation. You are repeating things, you are sending words into the universe. And by repeating those things, you want to see the manifestation of those energy in those ways. But when I grew up and I joined the occult, I started to realize that a lot of churches are using the very same elements that are used to manipulate, to control, have been used in the church. As I grew up in a Christian family, I believe that whatever that you ask of God, through prayer, God will answer you. So I went to Pretoria in the CBD. I looked for a hall in the CBD, and I found a hall at Corner Church and Nelson Mandela. It was a school called Dancer by then. That's where our first church was. And the church was started on good foundation, good intentions. But the problem was that the church was not growing the way that I thought, the way that I wanted it to grow. Around 21, 22.
What was the name of the church?
It was El Shaddai Tabernacle Center. And say, let me associate myself with those who are already successful. Successful in a sense that they are driving big cars. Successful in a sense that when they host their own crusade or services, they are followed by a huge number of people. Success in a sense that they had money. So I said, I cannot die in the wilderness alone. Let me be close to these people. I went to those who portrayed the life that I was longing for. I saw them living my life, and I was close to them. Then as I was close to them, I disclosed and said, I need to be like you. I need this power. We used to call it impartation, where you believe that somebody with their own hand, they can lay their hands on you and you will automatically have a particular spiritual gift. We have to take you to Nigeria for you to be initiated. You have to show loyalty to them before they can open up their other side of life. And once you start, they start supplying you with money. You know, they show you the money. You start experiencing the good life when by being associated to them. They are taking you to a place where your life will change. Because they told me that when I come back, I will be rich. And they told me the place where we are taking you to, it's a place where a lot of people go to, pastors they go to, and you find your business people go to, you find your politicians go to, you find your chiefs, local traditional leaders, they go to such places. So they said that is a place where a lot of leaders, if you are a leader, musicians, they go to those places. Celebrities, they go to those places for only one purpose: power, fame, and control. We are taking you to a place where you become a member of a secret society. It's through the access. They are not accessible. They are not seen. That's why they are secret society. They are not known. It is only when you come through somebody who is a member of the cult. You cannot just come and knock and they open for you. There must be somebody who takes you by the hand, somebody who is loyal to the house, somebody who will speak on your behalf to the house, and he will take you by the hand, introduce you to them. And secondly, they have to check your star. Usually they say that they check your star. They used a god that is called Ifa. Ifa is a god that they serve. They used this board and they asked my name, date of birth, and they were able to look at that particular thing to see if I am fit enough to be a member. And once they have accepted you, that is where they will take you through the spiritual initiation. And it is not done by one person. It is done by a group of people, and they give you some rules. One of the rules is that you are not supposed to talk about this. One of the rules is that what happens here remains a secret. So, and the other rule was that you should be able to support the other brotherhood, because it is more of a spiritual family. You are now attached to these people's life. The rituals that are done are animal sacrifice. In my case, I bought a goat and a chicken so that they can use them to offer their blood as a sacrifice to the gods. Because whatever they say does not end there until it is sealed with the blood sacrifice on those altars. There are different altars. Now they took a goat, they slaughtered the goat, they mixed the blood of the goat with some herbs, and they smeared that blood on my body. I was half naked. On my lower part, I wrapped my lower part with a red cloth, and I was half naked. They smeared everything on my body, and they cooked. They put a pot, a drum that was full of water, and on that drum they put fire. It was hot. The steam was coming out. They said I should test it. From then they took me and they put me inside that drum, because it was a huge drum, a person can get inside. So when they put me inside that drum, they said, we are now cooking you. This is where we cook politicians. This is where we cook armed robbers. Because during, in that place, even armed robbers, criminals, gangsters, they will go to that place to be strengthened so that bullets doesn't enter their body. So they said, we are going to cook you so that you can be strong. So my body could not feel the high temperature. The water was just normal, and I was there for some time. Then after that, they took me out, and everybody was just celebrating. So they took me to all different altars where I had to split those blood as I speak. By speaking, I mean I had to speak out things that I wanted to see happening in my life on those altars. So at first you go there, and by going there, that is when they tell you things that you should come with. They show you this miracle money or ritual money. And by ritual money, I mean where they just take a drum and they put the drum there, they close it with a white cloth, and they tell you to lock the room. Nobody is there in the room. It is you and the drum. And they say, lock the room, be outside on the door, and you stay there with the key, and they tell you, go back again. When you open, when you see that drum is full of cash, full of money, US dollar. So that is how they tell you, go and bring money to come and do sacrifice. Because of the money to buy this power, you can't afford. But go and bring money so that you can do the sacrifice and make the ancestors happy. They have to make a circle. You have to be at the center of the circle. Each one should release their blessing upon you. You have to wait for all these cult leaders. Some are owning saloons, some are owning businesses. So you have to wait for them to move out of their business to come and be part of the ceremony. When I came back, they gave me several powers, several things to use. One of them, as you have said, it was the head of a pig. And that thing that they gave me is the head of a pig that will work, number one, on attracting crowd. As it decay, the worms that comes out of it will be the number of people who will be attracted to your church. So I buried it there. I had to bury it in the midnight at night, and I had to speak to it. And by speaking is declaring my wishes upon the grave where I have buried this head of a pig. I think around a month or two, that is where I started to see things happening. A lot of people were coming, flocking to church. People, they will testify and say, I come 50 kilometers away from your place. I just came. I felt something pulling me to this church. So I knew that people were attracted by what was buried inside. This was just a test. Once I like what they have buried in the church, then they will go to an upgrade. These people, they don't just give you the full power. They start with you with something small. Once you agree with it, then that is where you keep on upgrading. There are different kind of powers that are offered to one. You choose which one you want to use. There are people who can choose their body as a sacrifice, and there are people who choose a body sacrifice that they won't sleep with women, but they will sleep with the same sex. That's what they do. They are not homosexual, but they do this as a ritual because they have chosen their body as an instrument of sacrifice. And there are people who choose their body as a sacrifice that they will sleep with young people, virgins, molesting young people, because the house where I went, they used the blood sacrifice. And they take a chicken to come and eat. If a chicken can eat the number of what the chicken will eat there, it will be the number of the years you will live. But you will be extremely successful. You will be too much rich. But you will also know that you are living on a borrowed time because of they put meal and a chicken. You know that a chicken can eat the whole day as it goes down. But this kind of a chicken can pick about 20 or can pick about 5, then it stops eating. Then they sacrifice that chicken. Then after sacrificing that chicken, they cook it. Then you have to eat and finish without breaking the bones of that chicken. So there's also the one that I chose, the one for blood sacrifice. But along that 4 years, you should be able to sacrifice, you know, not only sacrificing by killing people, but sacrificing by destroying people or taking people's stars away or somebody's luck away. Through intercourse, you should have a lot of, and you don't just sleep with anybody. You want people who are bright, people who've got a good, how can I put it?
Aura.
You want
aura. People have a good aura.
Yeah, aura, yes. You want those kind of people. So those are the people that you should make sure that you keep on sleeping with them. And by sleeping with them, you'll be destroying their life and you'll remain more powerful. Doing the sacrifice, the blood sacrifice, where you have to make sure that you appease these gods by slaughtering. That demons are attracted to where sin is. You have allowed sin to control your life. It is when you find one man sleeping with about 7 people in one day without any relationship with those people. You can call it a one-night stand, where they do it once and they are gone. They're finished with you. Yet a man who have, let's say, 4 girlfriends. Among the 4, there will be one which the gods allows them to be a permanent girlfriend. They have to sleep with this person. Before they can go to present something, they have to sleep with this person. It is not every girl. There are those that they know and say, this one will be used for this particular, what you call, sacrifice. Yeah, ritual, who are not aware that their role in that affair is to be used for a spiritual ritual. I chose for animal sacrifice, where I was able to slaughter the blood of the goats and the blood of the chicken. That was the initial stage, because as the more you do the sacrifice, it is the more the spirits will grow and start demanding more from you. As I've indicated, that the route that I took, it was more of animal sacrifices. But you will hear often cases of rape, molestation, and other cases. Because once you have that kind of a ritual, where it's a demonic ritual, wherever you go, whether you meet people who have got high moral standard, because of the demonic influence that you have housed in your body, you are able to get any person that you want. Most of the target are the worshippers. These occult leaders, they groom these young ladies. They give them high standard to live, where they are not able to have boyfriends, and they stay in the church compound, and every night the cult leader will just interchange them. This night he will sleep with this one, the other night he will sleep with that other one, and in one instant he will even sleep with all 5 of them in one room. They are young ladies who are sexual sacrifices in exchange of money, in exchange of high position in the church, in exchange of cars, in exchange of the good life these young ladies are looking for. So they give you the good life, and they use them for sexual sacrifices. All right. Remember, before the church starts, where the church will take place, they will use some rituals. Others, they use water. They sprinkled water in that place. Is part of the system. They use the water which they use to bath dead bodies. So they take that water, they sprinkle it before people can walk into the church. They actually prepare the place, the hall, the seats, the chairs, for a point of contact for these particular demons. Now, when members moved and walked into the church, sitting down there, it gives them an allowance for these demons to have access to these people as they worship, as they do everything, thinking that you are worshiping God, but not being aware that the environment where you are is an occult altar. So one of the reasons why these pastors, they come late, is because they wait for information that could have been collected by ushers from innocent people. Why are you here? What is your problem? What is your name? Where do you stay? Who is your husband? All those information are collected, and they are sent to the pastor, who will use them as prophecy. That's one of the reasons that once the pastor moved in, they will close the door. Nobody has to move out. Nobody has to move in, so that the spirit that he enters with, it becomes a final spirit of authority. Everybody will be under his spell, because they took time seated on those chairs that have been wrapped with oils, with occultic oils. They've taken their time dancing on grounds that has been sprinkled with water that has washed dead people. They prepare a person to be a zombie who will be under a spell of these cult leaders. A question: why a lot of churches, they own mortuary or mosques? Just ask yourself.
Businesses, yeah.
Yeah, because once your church starts to grow, you have to own that business. It looks as a business, but you know that you are using it for occultic reasons. There was an instant where some people died in the church, and they stayed there for some time, because they wanted the decay to happen. You don't just do things like normal people. You do things by instruction. People's body has to decay, the fats of the humans has to come out in that particular place as part of those rituals. Then that is where other body parts they can miss in such instance. And they are not just missing because they disappeared, but they are missing because they are used for rituals. Just to add on that, part of that entourage that works with the pastor, some of them, they are not Christians. You see top and influential people who are very close associated to cult leaders. The brotherhood principle says, in whatever space you are in, you should be able to embrace your own brother in the other space. So that association has something that is more stronger than what the eye can see. I'm just reminded of something. In case of singers, you will find them even mentioning the name of these traditional doctors in their song.
In music videos and movies, the signs and the symbolisms, you don't know what you're praising. You don't know what you're saying. You don't know what you're declaring.
The kind of things that I acquired during that time, I did not acquire the cars, I did not acquire the luxury houses. It was more of money that I had to send back to the occult because of they told me that the money that I should make in my consultation or during the crusades or any service, it should be the money that I should send back to them, so that they will be able to increase the kind of power they have given me. Remember, once you go there, they give you a high amount that you are able that you should pay, and you will go out promising them that you will pay that huge amount by installment. So once you start seeing things happening, you should take all the little money that you have, you send it back to them before you can start making money for yourself. So in that state, I was still beginning and sending money to them, and also moving to other countries, searching for more power, more of a continuous gift that one has to give to the house that was situated in Nigeria, the occultic house. And if a person comes and say, I can't sleep at night, I'm being troubled, I feel things that are moving in the house, you will give them something like water that has been mixed with some muti to drink, and that water will make the person to see things, to hallucinate, to see spirits moving in the house. After you have given me this water, this is what happened to me. So you use their response and their results as a way to explain to them that there is a form of witchcraft practice that is following them. So you show them one slide of a miracle or something that puzzles them, and you use that as a way to show and prove to them that they've been followed by a witchcraft. In other instances, we will go to people's house and we will dig out there, and we dig things out and say, this head that you see or these bones that you see, they are the ones that are slowing your success. They are the ones that are bewitching you, while those are the things that we brought along to dig them out from a person's house. We will come with it can be money that is wrapped with some scary things. We will take those things and we'll just put it somewhere in the house, and we say, let us pray. We pray, and we don't take it the same day. I mean, you put it somewhere, maybe where clothes are in the wardrobe. You know, when you pray and the pastor goes room to room, you just allow the pastor to move room to room praying. Then you insert whatever object that you came with, very scary one, you just put it anywhere. Then you leave, you go home, and you tell them, watch this week, God is going to show you a miracle. During the week, one will go to that drawer, which they don't normally use, trying to get that shirt. As he pulls the shirt, and that object will come out. And guess what? They will all scream and shout and say, Pastor, come and see what has happened. And we show them and say, this is nothing. There is more that is happening in this house. You need to get another oil. And you take them from one level of buying the oil to the most expensive oil that they need to get. I thank God for marrying a kind of a woman I did. Number one, she was never involved in those things. She did not understand what I was doing, and I tried to convince her by telling her that this was just a prophetic move. Remember, we got married as a pastor. I was a pastor, but now I had changed from being a pastor into becoming a prophet. Spiritually, we could not click, but she continued to pray. She was there praying and trusting the living God. You can imagine people coming to take spiritual baths. And I did not involve her in all these things. The purpose of the spiritual bath, it came from a perspective where you advise somebody who is looking for luck. They want to get a job. They want to get business tender. So you tell them that the only way for them to go and win what they are looking for, it is when they take a bath. But the main purpose for them to take a bath, it was that the water that they use there in the bath and all the concoction that I will mix there in that bath will make them to keep on coming for more consultation in my house. This oil are manufactured. I was the one manufacturing this oil. I will buy a normal oil from the shop, and after buying the normal oil, I will mix it with the oil from this calabash that I had collected from these different countries. So every bottle that I will sell, it was already mixed with the oil from these other calabashes that are inside. It is the same oil that they use, but they will come back with different stories. Remember, these are spirits in these oils. Once you use them, you apply, you will see something strange happening. It might be a dream. It might be that long lost partner who begins to call you. So once they start to see those signs, they come back and give a testimony.
Focused on the screen where everything is a lie. Hands don't just sleep away, and I stood there.
Insomniac, I lie wide awake, I'm irate with blind hate. I'm doomed to my fate, how much can I take? My murder mind state, and when I'm dead gone, don't come to my wake. And you won't like me when I get angry. The Bill Bixby original, not angry. Mechanical deity, blow up the scenery. Robot autonomous weapon machinery. They ache in the armor, they wanna break them in harder. They wanna make them a martyr, this what the pain is a part of. We live in life hypnotized with your eyes in the iPhone. Catalog and the masters that I own. Skeleton plated drum with the thigh bone. Bullets slide in your dome in the crime zone. Suck the budgets, construct the puppets, obstruct the justice, corrupt the judges. Wicked, what would be the secret that's hidden from mankind? Wisdom and in the vision religion can't find. Needed the operator to give me the landline. Digging in deeper, picking, losing my damn mind. Losing my damn mind. Losing my damn mind.
All the flashing lights, all the perfect lies, gazing at a screen where everything is a lie. Bending how you think, holds you in its teeth. Focused on the screen where everything is a lie. Living